So we're going to go over another video, another alleged left-wing grifter, this time Maximilien Robespierre, and claims of misinformation from Talk TV. So we're going to get into it and make sure this guy isn't pushing misinformation himself. Take it away.
To do this, I'm not a freaking journalist. Talk TV have journalists. They have people paid significant salaries to hold politicians to account, to hold their feet to the fire. Well, it seems that whenever somebody from Reform UK appears on it, they're pandered to, their belly is tickled. So Sarah Potchin, a former Tory turned Reform UK, was on Talk TV talking about immigration and, of course, misleading the public. And you saw zero pushback from a so-called journalist, a journalist who's supposed to ask difficult questions to inform the public.
Probably have to stop you right there, Max. Jeremy Kyle is not a journalist. He's someone we grew up with on our TVs. Some may remember his shows, the Jeremy Kyle Show, where he browbeat poor people, some who deserved it, some who didn't. But he was never a journalist. He's a political commentator like you. So let's just address that misinformation if we're going to be picky. Then you see him complain about not asking tough questions. You've only shown the answer, Max. What was she responding to? Was it a question she was responding to? Don't worry, anyone watching, I'll give you the full picture and the parts that Max left out. And then on to Sarah Potchin's claim, they're safe in France, why don't they stay there? Didn't mention about their obligations or our obligations or where they could move to. France is a safe place, they can stay there. The statement is true. But let's watch the full clip that she was responding to. Let's listen to if it was a question or a statement from Jeremy Kyle.
Sarah Potchin, a Reform's newest MP, Brighton and Hove City Council. Have you heard this? You'll love this. Jacob Taylor, who's obviously about 11, the local authority's deputy, has just said that as a proud city of sanctuary, we, Brighton, will always play our role in housing asylum seekers and providing a welcomed support to those poor souls fleeing persecution and horrific circumstance, which many of us can only thankfully imagine. I would respectfully suggest that persecution and horrific circumstance on the beaches in France is a tent. That's what I think. That is absolutely symptomatic of what's wrong with this country. That bloke saying that people are coming from France here because they're being persecuted.
Well, last time we all looked, France was a safe country.
Yeah.
Why aren't they staying there? And I go back to what I said before. They're coming here because we are a soft.
Have a listen to this.
Last time we all looked, France was a safe country.
Yeah.
Why aren't they staying there? And I go back.
Okay, it's not. They're not staying in France because they don't want to stay in France. This point about France being a safe country, there's no obligation on asylum seekers to claim asylum in France. They don't want to stay in France. And this thing of the way it's presented is as if it's French people coming from France to claim asylum in Britain. Well, France is safe. Why don't they stay in France? No, there's no obligation on them to stay in France. They want to get to Britain. Why is this so difficult? See, here's the problem. This is misinformation. But unfortunately, there's no pushback because this is Talk TV.
That's what I said before. They're coming here because we are a soft touch with our benefit system. They get a house, they get money in their pocket, they get free dental appointments, free GP appointments. We all know the list now, ever increasing and shocking.
Why didn't the journalist ask the question, why are they receiving free stuff? I don't want to put words in this guy's mouth, but I presume it's because he agrees with her. Because she's brought on not to be challenged, but to be provided a platform. A platform that Talk TV agree with. So he could easily ask, why, in your opinion, are they receiving these free items, these gifts, these benefits? Well, it's because they're not allowed to work. If they were allowed to work, then there'd be no need to give them free food, to give them free dental care, to give them free stuff. If they were able to work, they would pay their way. But of course, there's no pushback.
Because it's a stupid question. Why don't we just let them work? Oh yeah, because that'll stop people coming, won't it? It won't encourage more people to come. It's not like Brits are struggling to pay for dental bills and everything else. Why don't you let them work? It's a dumb time. It's dumb time. The obvious reasons why you don't just let them work. You have a visa process already. But all in all, this is an admission. This is economic migration. This isn't about desperate people, as Max knows very well.
Obviously, you're not getting a house. You don't get a house. You're moved into an ex-hotel, or you maybe moved temporarily into rented accommodation, but you don't get a house. It's not your house.
No one's made the claim that they own the house, Max, but they get a house, as you can see with the information on the screen. So you can try and play with words, but we're going to hold you to account. They get a house. No one said they own it, just so you're clear.
But of course,
Zoo tickets, cinema tickets, you name it, they're getting it.
What would you say to Brighton Council?
Well, you know what, if they want them, you take them then. Because I tell you what, in the northwest we've had enough, and let's move more down to Brighton if you want them.
okay, I think this is what we're going to see if Reform get into power. They're going to take asylum seekers and move them to areas of the country that did not vote for Reform. This is like a copying and pasting of what the Republicans in the US are doing. What the Republicans were doing was they were busing people, asylum seekers, refugees, immigrants, from Republican backing states like Texas to Democratic backing states or Democrat backing cities. And they were literally dumping people in areas. So the buses would arrive, the asylum seekers were kicked off and left there. And Democratic mayors, Democratic governors were left to pick up the pieces. And the Republicans didn't care about the consequences. They actually wanted this to happen because what it would do is it would create tension in the Democratic-run city or the Democratic-run state, and this would encourage more people to vote for the Republican Party. Because the Republicans would say, oh, look at all these immigrants in your city, and what is the governor or what is the mayor doing about it? This was a plan to take asylum seekers and immigrants from the border and dump them in Democratic backing constituencies. And this is, I think, what you're going to see if Reform UK get into power. What they're going to do is they're going to take asylum seekers and fill hotels or whatever in areas that are voting for the Labour Party or voting for other opposition parties. This is if Reform get in. This is what they will do. They will abandon the idea of spreading asylum seekers. Look, Reform...
Yes, that's exactly what they should do. They should bust them into your sorts of areas, you types, the ones who encourage this and think the country can cope. There's sensible people who don't want them in their area, not just because of crime, because they don't have the infrastructure. And it's costing billions a year to keep this up. But this is why Max cut the video and just had Sarah Ponchin responding to a statement, not a question, but he was expecting pushback. Absolute grifter. Yes, you get what you ask for. Yeah, Brighton, send them to Brighton. Apparently they can handle it. Because other people were telling you around the country they can't handle it and they don't want it. So yes, put them in Brighton where they're encouraging it, where they want it.
Keep talking about, we'll just send them back. You send people back where? If you want to send people back to France, you have to have an agreement with France. If you want to send people back to Afghanistan, you need to have agreements with the Taliban. So obviously they're not going to get these agreements. So what are they going to do? They're going to probably put asylum seekers in constituencies that are not voting for Reform UK.
So Max knows he's lying by omission here. Denmark have an agreement with Kosovo, and no, it's not the country of origin. It's not all Kosovans being sent to there. Also, you have Germany, who have made a deal with the Taliban, a thing that's so dangerous, right? How could you make a deal with such people? But it's good enough for Germany. Does Max say anything? Of course not. Full-time grifter. Allegedly.
In order to create tension, just like the Republican Party did in the US, in order to convince people, well, you need to vote for Reform. If you vote for Reform, we'll close these hotels, we'll kick these asylum seekers out. I think this is what we're going to see if Reform get into power. They're not interested in resolving problems. They're interested in weaponizing issues to benefit themselves. But this needs to be called out. Why am I calling it out? And why is a guy who's supposed to be a journalist not doing so? Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.
And there you have it. Someone claiming that Reform or Talk TV are spreading misinformation. This guy edited the clip out. It wasn't even a question. It was a statement he read out. Jeremy Kyle's opinion. And Sarah backing him up saying, yeah, they're in France, they should stay in France. But Max thinks there should be pushback. Why isn't he pushing back on a right-leaning station with a right-leaning politician? I wonder why. So channels like this are grifters, propaganda channels, allegedly. And the days where they can get away with just talking shite over the airway is long gone. You're not going to get away with it. And the more you do this, the more I'll have content to make to correct you. Until then, I will see you on the next one.